All
Hello,
right.
Sean.
Thanks, Ryan. Glad everybody's still here, and hope everybody's enjoying the presentations.
Yes.
And thanks for joining. I'm happy to be invited to show you an overview of StrataPress's Strata Owners Portal for self-managed stratas. My name's Sean Jordan. I'm an award-winning online entrepreneur. I've been producing large-scale web-centric business projects for about 25 years. I've spent the last 15 years working almost exclusively in real estate technology. I've been Strata Council president for 3 different Strata corporations over a 15-year period. And I also completed my licensing education required to work as a property manager in BC. But I never actually pursued it as a career. I just wanted to know the ins and outs of property management from the point of view of a real estate investor. So there's 3 main groups StrataPress is built for. Those are property managers, realtors, lawyers, and notaries, and strata owners. Today, I'm going to focus just on strata owners. In fact, just going to focus on self-managed stratas. So, quick backstory I'll just give you. 10 years ago, I built a simple website for a 75-unit strata property in Victoria where I was acting as council president. I built a site so that all of our owners could have access to strata documents and communicate with the strata council and the strata manager. It was a hit. It was simple. It was secure and private. It was transparent because of the way we set up the communication. I'll explain more about that later. It worked so well that I actually remained strata council president while living in Vegas for 2 years. We did all of our work through the website with the occasional phone call. I built the website using WordPress. And when I returned from Vegas, I thought having a network of the 1,000 or so strata corporations built on a multi-site WordPress platform would be a great little business. I was charging $500 a year for the website. I provided my strata. So with a pool of 30,000 stratas in BC, I thought, why not? So I launched StrataPress, which was in fact a WordPress multi-site platform designed for strata corporations. The problem is you can't pick up a phone and call a strata corporation, and property managers are the gatekeepers, and they didn't want to introduce any outside service to their strata corporation that cost $4.99 per year, even though they could see the advantage of using what we had built. So everybody loved it, but nobody wanted to pay for it. So in 2016, we changed our business model, and we started helping property managers fix a problem they had by automating document requests for a small transactional fee. But the property managers didn't want to give up any revenue from the sale of their strata documents, so we had no choice but to charge the user, which is the realtors, lawyers, and notaries. So what's in it for them? Their most valuable asset, time. They get immediate access to documents, whereas before, if they didn't pay a rush fee, they would have to wait up to a week to get the documents they needed. So everybody wins. The property manager eliminates hours of administrative time devoted to document procurement activities, and realtors get immediate access to strata documents. To date, we've processed over 30,000 document requests, and we have about 3,500 registered realtors, lawyers, and notaries ordering documents on a regular basis. We represent about 1,500 strata corporations in BC. We have archived about 150,000 strata documents. So what's next for us? Well, what was next? In early 2022, we launched the Strata Owners Portal, which was the old WordPress multi-site platform rebuilt into the same platform that we had created for realtors and for property managers. So all in one. Strata Portal grew in the first year by over 20,000 users, and it continues to grow by dozens of new users daily. We took care of a pain point for strata managers and realtors and strata owners. And, we made transparent communication with the council and strata. Owners now can receive updates from their strata managers or their council members, and they can participate in discussions, and they can submit a request if they need something. So everybody's happy. Realtors are getting what they need, quick access to strata documents. They order on their phone. About 80% of our orders from realtors are on mobile devices. Strata managers freed up a ton of time for them, automated the process. And Strata owners, of course, now have access to information that they want. Everybody's happy. So the next thing we thought about, of course, everybody knows there's a critical shortage of strata managers in BC. So we took that into consideration, and we combined the dashboard we created for the property manager and for the strata owners, and we created a dashboard for self-managed stratas. So self-managed stratas now, it's a very simple, clean, easy to use dashboard. It has the same functionality that the property managers have, in that they can process orders from realtors and lawyers who are requesting documents or Form B and Form F certificates. It's very simple to use. Basically, the same dashboard is used by the council as by the owners, except for this little section for orders and this little menu item over here. So really simple. You get access to documents, you get access to updates and discussions and requests. I'll go over those in a minute and explain those. But first, let me just show you some of the features of the dashboard. I was going to do this live on the site, but I thought maybe the slide might be a better way to go. So it's just screenshots for now. Basically, our menu up here for the dashboard for the council members to use just takes care of editing property information, setting management settings. That's stuff like, if you're going to charge a rush for 24-hour service or a 48-hour or 72-hour turnaround time. There's a holiday calendar which automatically blocks off holidays, statutory holidays, so that nobody can request documents that are due on those dates. And the council can also block off dates where, say, around holiday season that nobody's available. They can block those days off. So they're managing expectations of when documents can be received. Now, all documents that are ordered by realtors and so on are all available to download immediately. The only thing that requires time by default, 5 business days, is a request for a Form B or a Form F, but you can get a rush on those in as little as 24 hours. Of course, you have access to the orders, managing documents themselves, all the strata documents, the list of owners and tenants. We have a feature called unregistered users, which makes it really simple to invite owners to participate and register for the portal. The widgets here is just a way to control content on the home page, the main dashboard. You can create little boxes of information. So if you have specific information for your strata about pets, pet policy, or recycling and garbage, you can create a widget, and that information appears on the home page or on the dashboard itself. Of course, access to updates and discussions and requests. So I'll tell you about those in just a moment. About documents themselves, when you set up the strata, it automatically comes with a number of default folders. It's familiar type of design. It's just a folder. You double click on it, opens up, and you can upload documents to that folder. You can create as many folders as you want. You can control who can see those folders. I'll tell you more about that. And something we want to point out, that when you do upload documents, especially the time-sensitive ones like minutes of meetings and financials, they're all consistent with the way the naming convention's created. So you add a document, you're telling us what type of document it is, in this case, a month-end financial or year-end financials, and the dates for those documents, and then you upload it. So it doesn't matter what the name is of the document, the PDF file that you have. Once you upload it, it gets renamed, so there's consistency. So realtors and others looking at these documents can see sequential order. If something's missing, it's easy to identify which is missing, and there's a lot of consistency there. It's the same with the minutes of meetings, council minutes, AGM, SGM, those type of things all automatically get named based on the type of minutes and the date itself. If you click on a document, you can actually preview it in the browser. It opens up a window, so you can zoom in on the document. You can skip through different pages. You don't have to download it if you're looking for a specific document. But if you find what you need, you just click download and you can download that document. Again, with folder permissions, you can right click on a folder and you can deny access to any one of the different levels of access that we offer. So you can have, for instance, a council only folder, or you can have a folder that's only available for realtors, that type of thing. so other users can't find those documents. So updates, discussions, and requests just from the original design that we did for the website, that's all I provided was those 3 methods of communication. Updates are sent out by the property manager. Sorry if you're reading this. I got this out of my my user guides, and it's got a lot of text on it, but I'll just skip through all that. You can read it if you want. So updates go out to everybody, and they're posted by the property management company or the Strata Council. And anybody who's registered, who's accepting updates in their email, will get an update. It can include an attachment. It includes the entire message that's been sent, so nobody has to visit the actual portal to read the information. It all gets contained in one email. So updates are sent from the management to everybody else, all the Strata owners. Discussions, and I could show you actually a little bit more about those updates. You can create updates. What we've built into this now is a way to put an attachment to an update, but you can also, when you add an attachment, like say we're sending out the financials for the month end, you can upload that document at the same time that you're distributing it. So basically, you create an update. It's as simple as creating an email. You put in the title, you put in the message, you add an attachment, in this case, month-end financials. It'll give you an option to select a folder. So I select the folder, I put in type of minutes it is in the month, and then when I send this to all the owners, it gets uploaded to the archive at the same time. So when it's uploaded, it's accessible by realtors and lawyers and so on to purchase. So it's all done in one step. You can even, after you've posted an update, you can click on the update itself and read the message, but there's a little button called View Emails. So you can actually see who received this update and when they opened it and when the last time they opened it, how many times they opened it. It's something that we've built in that you can track these messages that go out to owners so that you're sure that they've received them. And I know that's important for a lot of documents and things like AGM notices and so on. So if you send out an AGM notice electronically, you can go in and track who received it, if it was delivered, or if it was bounced. In this case, I blocked out the emails. You can't see them, but there's a little red dot beside this email which bounced. So what you can do is you can actually click on one of the emails. You can click on the user and go to their profile, and you can click on the email tab, and you can see which updates they've actually received. So you can look at who received the updates, or you can look at a personal profile and see what updates they've received and when was the last time they opened up that update. So if it's something, again, important like fire alarm inspection, and somebody wasn't available when they were supposed to be, and they can claim that we didn't get the notification, well, you can follow up and see that, yes, in fact, it was delivered and was opened 6 times, last time being, in this case, March 31st at 11:59. So very important for property management companies, but also for council members to really understand who's getting the information they're trying to share. So that's updates. They go out to everybody. Discussions are created by management for other managers, so other strata managers or other council members. So a council member can create a discussion, but they can include specific owners. So if you've got an owner or if you've got a project that's like landscaping, doing some cleanup, and you have some volunteers, then you can create a discussion and you can include those volunteers and provide them with the information. And they will be the only ones who receive that message. And of course, they'll be able to view that message in their list of discussions, but they'll only see the discussions that they've been included in. And the last type of communication we offer is the requests. And those come from strata owners to the management or to the council. And those are confidential. There's no way in our system for strata owners to contact other strata owners. There's no need to divulge your personal email address because it's all taken care of through the system. So requests come from owners to the management, and they can send you information or requests for stuff like a new fob, or maybe they found some damage. They want to provide some photos. They can put attachments to those requests as well. So the beauty is that with all these types of communication, it's all archived. All the discussions are archived. They're never lost in emails. Like if you have a strata council that turns over, you have a president that moves completely out of the property, you still retain all the correspondence that person had. Even if they're removed from the property, it still retains their history. So it goes back, in some cases, years. One of the first stratas we worked with, they've been archiving communications and documents for close to 10 years. So that's requests. And of course, this is all official correspondence as well. It's considered official correspondence. So you don't have to worry about emails getting lost and mixed up and so on. And something else I should point out about that, if there's a question that somebody has and it goes to the strata manager, they typically would answer it in their own email and everybody's closed off from what that answer was. Well, in this case, everybody's CC'd on the response. So we found, some property managers would, or even council was saying, we don't want more correspondence. We don't want to offer that kind of access. But the truth is, you give people access to correspond with you, and it's pretty well respected. It's when people can't get in touch with somebody they need to talk to when things go sideways. They get angry and they get upset about those type of things. But the truth is, when a strata manager or a council member answers a question, everybody sees the same answer. So eventually, at least in my experience, our council started answering questions instead of the strata manager. And the strata manager could see the answers, but it was the council taking the bulk of the questions, and they were answering questions properly because they were all on the same page. There's no individual emails going back and forth, and everybody can see what's going on through the portal. So one of the other features we have a correspondence, which I find is kind of useful for council members, which means you can click on correspondence and you can select a date from your last meeting, the day after your last meeting, until the day before your next meeting. And it'll print out all of the correspondence that you've received through the website, all of the discussions and all the requests. So kind of looks like this. It's a bit small on the screen, but it's nicely formatted. You print it out or save it as a PDF and send it to the other members. And this way you can address all the correspondence that came through the portal between your last two meetings. And this just ensures that you've addressed all the issues. You can see if the discussions or the requests are still open or they've been closed. You can see the answers that were given and just make sure everybody's inquiries were addressed. Owners can request a Form B certificate through the dashboard. They can get that from their council, so you can request a Form B. They just fill in a little bit of information. I'll be doing a presentation with Vizoa, with Wendy Wall from Vizoa. Mid-April, approximately, there'll be a presentation about completing Form Bs online, and I'll be showing this more in depth. But for now, just wanted to let you know that owners can request a Form B through the platform. They can also access all the documents. All the owners can access documents just the same way. Well, not the same way. They don't have to purchase anything. They just open up the folder, click on the document, see if it's what you need, and download it. Another thing, just for council members, I should point out, we got some smart folders here, like the depreciation report. You put a report in there, in the root directory there. It's going to get added to a Form B request automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. And we're able to collect payments on that document because it's added to the order automatically and can't be removed. Same with this Form B required folder. Anything you put in there, like your insurance summary or your bylaws and rules or your budget, you put those in the Form B required folder. Nobody else sees that, just the council. And anytime somebody requests a Form B, those documents will be automatically added to the order. And you can, like I said, you can create a council-only folder, which is only accessible to the council, and create as many folders as you want. Try and keep it organized. Without going online and showing this, I thought I'd give you a quick overview. Just one of the things that sets the portal, the Strata Owners Portal, apart from, the regular Strata Owners Portal, is the fact that it's self-managed. So now you can actually process orders. So realtors will come in and purchase documents, and you'll just be notified if they just bought minutes of meetings and financials. They pay for them. I had an order last night, came in at 3:40 in the morning, and somebody bought documents, and the Strata gets notified of that purchase, who purchased the documents, all the details of what they purchased, and how much we collected. I should point out that if you're selling documents online, your Strata Corporation gets 100% of the revenue from those documents. And we send that out with a sales report every month. You might only do one sale a year, or you might, like there's a number of Stratas we work with, self-managed, generates $400 to $600 per month in Strata document sales. They got a high turnover, or they have a lot of owners. So council members would see this orders section. They click on that, and it brings them to the orders, and they click on the individual order, and you get information like this. You can complete the Form B online. It's just a matter of filling in a form like this. This quick screenshot. It's a little bit longer, of course. Let me go back. Pardon me. It's a standard Form B. This, of course, has all been approved with cooperation and help with FISOA, just making sure that Strata owners understand the information that they have to provide, at least council members have to provide when filling in a Form B. When you've completed the Form B or the Form F or whatever the request is, you complete the order. You'll get some check boxes here to make sure you've included the proper documents and that they're all included. If they were included in your Form B required folder, these would just be checked off automatically. Otherwise, if something's missing, you go back and you can add a document to an order. And you can complete it when it's due, which might be 3 days from now, or you can complete it now and have it sent right away. Completing when it's due just manages expectations, because you can charge a rush fee. So if you're always giving everything up within 24 hours, nobody's ever going to pay you for a rush fee because they'll just figure they'll get it in 24 hours. So that's what that option's for. So just an overview, simplifying strata management for self-managed stratas, $15 per unit per year. That's our rate for using the system. If you work with a property management company and they're fulfilling the document requests and managing the documents, we encourage them to offer it at a minimal price, if not for free, because we don't charge property managers for using the owner's portal, as long as they're selling documents through the system. But some will charge to manage the information and everything else. That's usually pretty low. It's $15 per unit per year. If you get a 2-year subscription, you get a 3rd year free. So it brings it down to about $10 per unit per year over the course of 3 years. Archive documents and correspondence is what you can do. You can generate revenue that'll pay for itself. If you've got 30 or more stratas, probably pay for itself. 30 or more units. So generate revenue from document sales. You can create Form B and Form F certificates online, all automatically. And of course, the transparent communication with the updates, discussions, and requests. Moving forward, we're really investing in research and working with other companies on AI-powered Strata Assistant. Council education. We want to offer education for council members so you understand what your responsibilities are. So we'll be working with other companies and, again, organizations like FISOA to help develop some education and courses for Strata council members to take. Access to professional resources like property management companies for advice and direction, lawyers, and others, involved in the industry. And then vendor management, of course, because your strata probably needs services. So anything from landscaping to roofing work to heat and air conditioning, all those type of things you'll be able to do through StrataPress. We just keep adding more features, and we're taking a lot of feedback. You'll notice every page in our dashboard has a feedback tab to give us some feedback about services you'd like to see or where we can make improvements. Shout out to the companies we work with, of course. Property Flutes, who invited us here, Ryan Grant and Craig Moore. We are creating an export feature for all the owners. So you can click on the owners list and export it. It'll export a formatted spreadsheet that you can import directly into Property Flute. So you got everything you need there as far as setting up some voting. Yield Exchange with Yvette Wu. We're starting to offer her services through our dashboard. Eli reports are great. We sell those through our dashboard to realtors as well, and of course, Condo Clear. If you want some in-depth feedback on your documentation and get an opinion, we work with Condo Clear on getting them documents if you want to use their service. We're members of CHOA by ZOA, Viatech here in Victoria as well. We're accredited business, A+ rating on Better Business Bureau. We use Azure servers. Those are located in Canada. Nothing leaves the country. So everything is contained within our servers in Toronto and Montreal. QuickBooks, who we're working with them on developing a template spreadsheet for managing strata corporations that will use an API so you can track your expenses and owners can get up-to-date financial information on demand through QuickBooks. Of course, you need a subscription with them, but it ties into our platform or will tie into our platform. And OpenAI, of course, we're very interested with what we can do with AI assistance for strata management. With that said, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of benefits from using it. I think it's the future of strata management, in my own opinion. Considering that we're very short on managers, this could be very useful. I think it's great for both sides, for owners as well as strata managers. For instance, you should be able to pull up a chat bot in our window and ask anything you want about strata information in BC. Or you can ask something specifically about a building, like when was the last time this strata had a fire inspection? When does the current insurance policy expire? Who's the insurance company? Or who's the council president? It should be able to answer all those questions for you automatically and even point you to the resources you need through our dashboard. So we're working on those type of things. If you're interested, go to StrataPress.com, click on register an account. You can create an account as a council member for a self-managed strata. From there, I get contacted. We'll do a phone call and we'll arrange a time for a Zoom meeting with you and your council so we can explain the responsibilities of what's required and answer any questions and get you set up. Onboarding is very simple. We can help you take care of all that stuff. It's just a matter of putting in your property information and uploading documents. We have a service that allows you to just email us documents and they get uploaded automatically as well. So that's the gist of it. If anybody's interested in taking a look at a demo, just contact us and we'll arrange a demo and show you a live demo that we can show you some of the nuances of our platform and how it can benefit your strata corporation. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yes, we do have some. And I just wanted to preface the questions by saying, as people can see on that one slide you had where you're working with all the other vendors, that one's really important, and it emphasizes what we were saying during our break times about how at BC Stratatech here we've been trying to work with all the local vendors to collaborate and come up with new features throughout all of our different products, and just just combine together, right? Making it seamless and supporting each other as a community, right? So this is firsthand. Demonstration here showing you that he's integrated Condo Clear, Eli Report, Yield Exchange, Property Flute, and he's working alongside all the other companies as well. So that's really great collaboration, and you won't find that from a lot of the larger companies that are not from BC, right?
No, absolutely. Being a BC startup, like I said, I've been in the startup industry for online technology for 25 years. And it's a great environment, and there's a lot of risk of doing it. But I believe in the products, having been Strata owner, and I built this originally for the benefit of Strata owners. And of course, it evolved from there. And I think now we're providing benefit for a lot of different parties.
Yes.
So, and it's starting to pick up steam. It's not an overnight thing. We launched this in the second version of this in 2017. Pardon me. but we're always making improvements. We're a software company, so we're never stop
No, exactly.
making improvements and incremental small improvements and new features. And I think it'll help the industry too, because there's a whole audience out there, especially the self-managed stratas. If you're 30
Yes.
units or under, it'd be really tough to get some management options. So we can even introduce, like I said, with professional services, you could have a la carte services. If you just need accounting, you can get the accounting through an accountant, through the portal, through StrataPress, things like that. So what kind of questions we got?
I posted them into the side chat
Okay,
now, if you
so
can pull that
is
up.
it linked to land titles files? One of the one used by Strata property, eStrata. Well, eStrata Hub is it's the same company. It's owned by a company that deals with law documents out of Toronto, Dye and Durham, and
Yes.
they own another company which is involved with providing land title certificates. So they've kind of got a monopoly on that.
Hmm.
They won't let us participate in there, but there's ways of doing things. Not too concerned about that right now. Does your StrataPress product compare with PowerStrata? I don't know how we compare with PowerStrata. I did see their presentation yesterday. They didn't get a lot into what the ins and outs of their program does, so I'm not sure where it's different. Do they have all the same features, or is StrataPress more robust? Couldn't tell you. I don't know. We just focused on what we think works,
Yes.
and I know a lot of software companies out there will build an all-in-one solution, which is really tough, especially if you're dealing with property management companies. The licensing costs are outrageously expensive, um, thousands of dollars per year. So you
Yes.
really have limited choice as far as self-managed stratas go. Outside, even in the professional industry, there's no dedicated platform for strata management in BC. It's always an outside company.
Hmm.
Yardi, for instance, is based in Miami.
Yes.
Their licensing costs can be somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 to $100,000 per year. You have to pay for customization because their rules are different. So you have to build something for the market you're in. So
Hmm.
we're BC based. We're focused on BC, and we can focus on this market and do a great job. So not sure how we compare with Power Strata. I know they've been around for a while as well. Um, so anonymous, how much cost per unit? Well, like I said, if you sign up for 2 years, $15 a year per unit, pretty inexpensive. We do make a fee. We do get a fee from the people purchasing documents. So we didn't used to charge stratas. We just thought, well, if you just sell documents, that's great. But if you only sell, have one order per year and we make $15, it's not a great business model. And so we had to start doing a subscription for self-managed stratas, but I want to keep the cost down. There will be opportunities as well for sponsorship and having other people pay for access to strata owners and so on. But we're going to make that a voluntary thing. If you want to cut the cost of the software, let somebody else pay for it by getting your eyeballs to look at their ads, that type of thing. How do you ensure the personal information protection obligations are met and provide data security? Do you audit, check, and ensure all PIPA current and compliant given the amount of personal data being handled? We don't really handle a lot of personal data. We have your information that you perhaps find in a phone book, your email address, we know where you live. I think the information that's distributed on StrataPress isn't any of our business. We don't look at any of that stuff. So we are compliant in that we give options for opting out of messaging and opting out of notifications.
Hmm.
And when you sign up, you're going to be given those options right from the get-go. You can sign up and not receive notifications and just log in when you feel like it to get access to documents and what have you. So those are all options for sure. I did write some blog posts about privacy and security. prior to this project, my co-founder and partner in this, we worked on a fintech project for a couple of years. And so we were building a dashboard for people's personal finance and dealing directly with banks and very sensitive information. So we've been through all the gamut for penetration testing and security and encryption. We're pretty secure. I'd say we're very secure, to be honest. I don't think you could hack into our site. It's walled up pretty well, for one. And on top of that, none of the data is stored as readable information. So if you were to hack into our servers, for instance, and you'd never find a single PDF file because it's all stored as code, and it reassembles that code and creates the PDF when you download it. So very secure in that sense. Some of the screenshots of the Form B are out of date. Such disclosure statement was removed a month ago. Yeah, compliance. That's Wendy. She's on top of that pretty quick. I'm not sure if those screenshots I used were current or not. I did do some screenshots, but also I used a lot from an existing user guide. So I just grabbed pages out of that. So I'll take a look at that, Wendy. I'll make sure everything's up to date there. And we'll talk more about that. As a Strata manager, I can't imagine working without StrataPress. We are not even fully utilized on all the capabilities. Well, thanks, Lori. That's good to hear. I love that kind of feedback. We've been working with feedback from property managers and owners and realtors, and we take every request seriously, and we take a look at how it can improve our platform, and if it can benefit everybody else, then we definitely get on top of it. So we got an ongoing list of features that we're working on and feature requests from different companies, and all of them are great ideas. So feedback's always great.
It looks like we just ran out of time there.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, so we'll post any other questions to you at a later time when we have you back on for a podcast, okay?
All right, sounds good. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan. Cheers.
Yes, thank you so much, Sean, and take care.